Okay guys, so today we're going to be factoring some special cases. So we've had some videos with factoring trinomials before. If you really wanted to, you could make a giant X and then multiply and figure out what these numbers would be and come out with the GCF, and we're not going to do that. These are special, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Oh, sorry. Let me take off my mask. Okay. So let's talk about a few things first before we look at why they're so special. So let's remember some roots. So the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 8, what is that one? Well, if we're not sure, we can grab our fancy dancy calculators. And we can do second x squared. So that's our square root symbol. And then we're going to type 8, and that is 2 root 2. So it's reduced to radical for you, which I'm going to teach you how to do next unit after this. It's going to be fun. Okay, then let's say I did the cube root of 8. Okay, so remember on these shelves we always have 2's unless you see a different number. I kind of didn't draw great shelves, but this 3 on the shelf means that I want the same number multiplied by itself 3 times to give me 8. To type that in the calculator, you do 3 second and then this boxy 1. So that puts the 3 on the shelf inside of your calculator so that you can type 8, and the cube root of 8 is 2. The square root of negative 100, let's just talk about this for a second. So square roots mean you need the same number multiplied together to give you this guy on the inside. Well, we know that the root of 100 is 10 because 10 times 10 is positive 100. However, for this guy right here, if we have negative 10 times negative 10, we get positive 100. And positive 10 times positive 10 is also positive 100. If you type this in your calculator, the second x squared, so the opposite of squaring is square rooting. So if you type in negative 100, then you get an error because you can't take the square root of a negative. There isn't the same number twice that can be multiplied to give you a negative, because a positive times a positive is a positive, and a positive times a negative times a negative is positive. So this actually becomes an imaginary number, which we're going to talk about, 10i. But you can't, so that's the whole idea right now, is that you can't take the square root of a negative number. Okay, so now we're going to take more notes, and then I'm going to show you what this is useful for. So if you have a trinomial, let's just say this first number would be like 9m squared, and then the second number would be 24m, and then the third number would be like 16. Okay, so here's the pattern with this special case. This first number is a squared number. So what I'm saying is the square root of 9 is 3. It's a perfect square number. So this is, in this trinomial, for this special case, you need to start with the leading coefficient that is squared. So a squared number with a variable that's squared. Then this sign actually could be a positive or a negative. It kind of depends, and I'll show you more of what I mean in a second. Then you have this number that doesn't really matter, a number with some sort of a letter. So we don't really care about this middle term right now, and I'll show you why. And then this guy always has to be a positive, and if you notice, 16 is also a squared number. The square root of 16 is a 4, so this is a squared number as well. Okay, let's just call this leading coefficient A, and we'll call this ending number B. If I wanted to factor this trinomial, I could use my big X, but a shortcut is the square root of your A and your number, and then whatever sign, some sort of number with, anyways, whatever sign goes here, and then the last bit is the square root of your B value squared. So this trinomial factored is going to be this answer. Okay, now again, this looks so weird, but I'm going to show you. This is the pattern. So we've already said that the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 16 is 4. And 3 is my A, and 4 is my B value. If you square root your m squared, that is m. So, because square and square root on the letters, they cancel out. Okay, well, on anything, really. So now our answer for this, so we want to factor this trinomial. So the answer is going to be 3m, and then you take whatever sign the second term has, which is a negative, and then we square root 16, so it's 4 squared. So this is the factored answer of our trinomial. Here's the thing, this third term always needs to be positive because why? You can't square root a negative number. All right, we're going to prove it really fast. We're going to do the opposite. So we're going to take 3m minus 4 and multiply it by 3m minus 4 to prove that we'll get this trinomial. So 3m times 3m is 9m squared. 3m times negative 4 is negative 12m. Negative 4 times 3m is negative 12m. And negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. Combine your like terms, and you have 9m squared minus 24m plus 16, which is exactly what we started with. Okay, so this shortcut or this trick works. So again, it's if the leading coefficient is a squared number and the ending number is a squared number, you take the square root of each of those with the letter in the first term, take the sign of the middle, and then it's factored. So I'll show you some on this side. We just did number 1. So let's look at number 2. So on number 2, the square root of 4 is 2. So we're looking at the leading coefficient. The last term is a 1, so the square root of 1 is 1. So my answer is going to be the first term, the leading coefficient, with my letter. I take this middle sign, and then the square root of my last term, all squared. So factored, this trinomial is this, which again, like I said, you could big X it, but this was so much faster. It's kind of fun. Let's prove it. So I'm going to prove it to you one more time that this is legit. Okay, 2v times 2v is 4v squared. 2v times 1 is 2v. 2v times 1 is 2v. And 1 times 1 is 1. I combine my like terms. It's 4v squared plus 4v plus 1. Oh, that's what we started with. Yay. Okay, let's do one more. Number 8. Okay, again, so I'm going to look at my leading coefficient, and I'm going to take the square root. The square root of 25 is 5. I look at my ending number, my third term, and we're going to take the square root. The square root of 9 is 3. So my answer is going to be 5x, take my middle sign, plus 3 squared. Let's do one more -1 just to make sure we're good. Oh, I like number 3. Okay, number 3. So remember, if you don't see a number in front, it's a 1. The square root of 1 is 1. The square root of positive 16 is 4. I'm rewriting my answer. I'm factoring it out. So we're going to be 1m. You don't need the 1 in front. Take the middle sign, which is a negative, and 4 squared is your answer. Okay, now you know how to factor some special cases. Have fun. Bye, guys.